Alright, so I'll show you what we've created. So, like I said in that previous video when I gave you just a quick overview of the lifts, we're going to create a ragdoll event. So if we jump from a height of like up here and we land here, we're going to die. So if I hit play, I'll show you what we're going to create, and then I'll pause it, delete everything, and start again so you can see how we do it. Alright, so this, some things I can rebuild easily and show you without having, taking 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So let's climb up here. We jump down.
You stupid.
Boom. Now, sometimes the camera's not perfect. You might have it going into the body. Still need to work on that, but you'll see the level resets and we started again. And it says you're stupid for jumping. It's telling you you're stupid. Why are you jumping off? But yeah, so I jump down,
You
boom,
stupid.
and then we got a depth camera. So we switch from our first person view to a depth camera. So we have a second camera. All right, let's get started. So I'll pause this for 1 second. Okay, so I've gone and deleted everything. So if I hit play, we're back to, no depth camera, no, um, no like sound effects playing, no nothing. Um, just jump. We are basically invincible. We've got some strong legs, but that's what we don't want. Okay, so get started. You need to go into your third person blueprint. Um, Also, if you want to add your own sound in here, you can for the deaf. I just chose this little
You
stupid
stupid.
one. It is a stupid. You're stupid. It says you're stupid because you've jumped from a great height. Um, but you can have a scream, a shout, whatever sound effect you choose. Anyway, what we're going to do is in our third person blueprint, we want to first set this to a ragdoll, right? Our collision to a ragdoll. So we're going to scroll down to collision. So find collision, collision preset, collision preset, right? And set this to where's ragdoll? You see ragdoll? Right there, ragdoll. All right. So now that's set to ragdoll. That's pretty much ready. What we want to do is also add our second camera, which is going to be our depth camera. So we might add that as well. So I'll click on mesh, add a spring arm. So we're adding a spring arm, so second spring arm, and we're also adding a camera to that spring arm, and I'll call this depth camera. Depth camera. All right, and it's somewhere over here, which is fine. I want the spring arm to look at the head, so I'm going to scroll up, and where it says parent socket, I want this to look at the head of our character, and then I'll rotate that up and rotate this round like so. So I'll set that to -90, and maybe I'll bring this up slightly angled like so. There we go. Now on that probe size, I'm going to play around with this value. I noticed I like when it was lower, it seems to be behaving a little bit better. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. It says, uh, yeah, it says how big should the query of the probe sphere be in Unreal units? Um, I mean, you can play around with that. I've noticed 2 seems to be okay, and you can choose how far you want that camera to be from your character. If you want it really close, change the arm length. 300 is okay. I'll leave it at default 300. Um, okay, so we're pretty much what we need to do. Oh yeah, also on the camera, we need to turn off the auto activate on depth camera. So activate. If you start typing activate, just uncheck auto activate. Leave this one is fine. The one follow camera, we'll leave that on. The other one we just turn off, right? Okay, so let's go to our event graph. So we need to say there's an event called on event landed. So when your character lands, so if you type event landed, right, on event landed. So when we land, we get an event, right? And what we want is to get our velocity, right? And we need to split this, split this pins, and we need the z axis. So we're going to say we want absolute float, and that will go into a greater. So we want to check our value and say we want to say if it's greater than this, like the height we've fallen from, then we want to do this true or false with a branch. But so let's do greater, and let's go into here. Okay, now from here I want a branch. Okay, and this is our condition. Okay, so you can choose what height you want to set your ragdoll to be triggered. So I'm going to set it to 1500. I think that seems to be fine. For the height that I've got in the worlds, maybe yours is higher or shorter, so you may want to play with it depending on what you think that height should be. Okay, all right. So from here, we want to set simulation physics mesh, and let's try to keep this a bit tidy. Can get messy now because there's there's quite a few nodes, but it's not too many. All right. Make sure you check simulate because if it's true, we want to simulate the ragdoll, right? So make sure the physics works because we said we changed it to ragdoll, so we want it to work. If you turn this off, it won't work, right? Okay, and let's just add that impulse, and from here, make sure the mesh is the target like that. All right. And then what we're going to say, disable the movements. Disable, because we don't want to be able to move when you're on the ground. And disable movements. I wonder what would happen if you did. I haven't tried it, but anyway, disable the movement, and then what I want to do is have a sequence. So out of here, I want to restart the level out of one, and out of the other. So there's going to be a trigger. It's going to send fire to this one and fire to that one, but from here I want to reset the level. So I'm going to say I want a delay, and of course you can choose how long that delay is. So how long do you want to spend viewing your def cam? So let's say 6 seconds. 6 seconds seems to be fine from what I've tested. And then what we want to say is open level by name. Now our name of the level, if I minimize this, is third person map because we've been working in the third person map template. So I'm going to type in third person map. Okay, and that's it. So what will happen is we hit the ground, it triggers the event. We hit the ground from a higher, from a high position in the map. Then we're gonna turn the ragdoll on when we hit the ground, because with our velocity is like greater than 1500. Then we disable any imports, and then we're gonna restart the level after 6 seconds. Now the cameras, we want to bring the cameras in, so let's bring both cameras in. Let's bring them in here. Alright, so you're going to have follow camera and the def camera, and we want to set these. So set active, right, and then set active. So we can copy and paste this after in a second. So we can copy and paste and put it over there. And what we want to do is just put follow camera goes into the def camera. So at the start, we want the follow camera to be active and our def camera to be off. So I'm going to copy these, go over here to where our sequence was, and paste. Now we're going to flip this. So now the def camera is active and we inactive. We turn off our follow camera, and we're just going to pass that into our set active here. So it will just pass through and turn on the camera and turn off the other one. Okay. But on here, this is not, we're not linking this here. We're just going to say on event begin play. We're just going to make sure this one's turned off and this one's turned on. So event begin play. You shouldn't really need to do this, to be honest, because we already have this as auto active. Active. The auto active is already on. But just in case, I kind of just done that just in case it decided not to work, or I don't know, but it does work without it. Anyway, that's it. That's all we need. So hit compile, save. Oh yeah, sound effect. I triggered the sound effect after it switches cameras, and that was just easy, you know. Set 2D sound. Or is it? Is it? Oh, did I write 2D sound? 2D sound. Yeah. Play 2D sound. And then you just choose whichever sound effect you want. So I think it's you. Yeah, you stupid. And what else? Let me check. Is my audio capture on for desktop? Hopefully it is, so you can hear the sound effects. Yeah, that's it. Now, if you want to comment this, you know, if you want to like press C and say fall def camera full, I don't know, slash ragdoll def camera. It's up to you. Like, you can name that whatever you want, so you know what that is. Also, if you didn't annotate the sprint or walk, I didn't do that previous videos. You just drag and you just hit C to comment. So if you want to comment, just press C. Yeah, and you can just comment your blueprints. You probably know this anyway. Compile, save, hit play. So you can see camera's normal. I can jump from up here, fine. Let's climb on this yellow block, jump from up here, no problem. Let's go up on the left. Now we jump. Whee.
You stupid.
There you go. We're stupid for jumping. So now it switched to the def camera, and then the level restarts again. Right? Simple. It's just hopefully it wasn't too long of a video. Like I said, we can test this as well from different floors. So let's take the lift. Let's go to a different floor. Let's go to floor 1. Oh, I turned the flashlight on by accident. Let's go up into level 1. And let's see how high this is. So we jump.
You stupid.
Yep. See? If I want it to be a greater height, I just change the value. Yeah, but it's working well. I might need to come back and look at the collision of that camera, so it's not always going into our body of our camera, but we're getting there. We are actually getting there, you know. Call the lift. Wait for the lift to come. Whee, whee.
You stupid.
There you go. Anyway, enjoy your evening, morning, day or night. Thank you again. Bye bye.